I have to open up by saying that with respect to selling video games to my classmates, I plead the fifth. But, the only thing that I'm not really a fan of with the 28 years is being reminded that 28 years ago I started kindergarten, so making me feel old over here. But, I wanted to open tonight with a quote. When I was a kid, I thought this quote was about assets. Turns out it's not. But let's see if anyone can figure out what it's actually from. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Now, does anyone know where this is from? It is. It's from the 1997 Apple Think Different commercial. I'm sorry I don't have any prizes for you. But now in 1997, I was 9 years old, so you'll have to forgive me for thinking this was about assets. But I think the reason that this quote speaks to me and, stays with me as an adult is that it really frames thinking differently as not just a crutch, but as a source of strength. Recently I had the good fortune to attend a talk by an assets parent where they talked about the trials and tribulations that they went through in dealing with their child's learning disability. One of the coping strategies that they talked about was talking about their child's learning disability as a superpower. And they did this because their kid is a fan of Marvel movies where the heroes have to learn how to control their powers over the course of the movie. Now, nobody starts out great at it. Maybe an explosion goes off at the wrong time or a web goes off in the wrong place. But by the end of the movie, all of the heroes have all learned how to use their powers for good. What was once a source of embarrassment is now a force for good. This is what assets taught me. As you guys heard in the video, I have several graduate degrees, and I have to tell you that none of them have been as important to me as assets. In law school, I learned the Socratic method, and I learned how to think critically. In business school, I learned how to read a balance sheet and how to work together with a team and how to lead one. In computer science, I learned how to write a program and how to design algorithms. But it was at assets that I learned how to learn. And that's a skill that I use all day, every day. Assets didn't just give me skill sets. It gave me lifelong friendships, too. In fact, I met my best friend, who I've stayed in touch with till today at Assets. And he's actually here tonight with his family, also Asset supporters, Sean Dunham. And and of course, where would I be without my good friend Sandy Tadaki, who really saw me through my time at Assets. But of course, none of this would be possible without the man we're all here to celebrate. The one who 28 years ago realized he had a particularly difficult child. And when he realized that, he didn't give up on him like everyone else was about to. Instead, he found assets and has been with them ever since. I can only hope that I can make him half as proud of me as I am of him today. I love you, Dad.